Okay, right. So today is term 2, lesson 3, okay, of our problem sums mini course. So as usual, okay, if you are new here, I'm Miss Chang. Okay, I'll give you a little bit of introduction first before we go to the questions later on. Okay. Okay, so you can start now. So I'm from Maths Accelerator Center. Okay, we specialize in mathematics at the center here. So we help students with borderline grades turn around their results within a short period of time. Oh, hello, Emily. Yes, you're in my class. Okay, so if you're struggling with problem sums, that's usually what happens. Okay, the problem sums will be very difficult for you to tackle sometimes. Okay, so when you come here, we can help you to solve the questions, teach you the step-by-step approach on how to tackle your problem sums. Okay, so what's the objective of these lessons here? Okay, is to improve the students' understanding and confidence in tackling problem sums. So be it maybe identifying the keywords. Okay, maybe you don't know how to draw the model. Okay, we'll show you the step-by-step approach to do it. Okay, we also demonstrate how problem sums can be solved systematically. Okay, so like I said, mathematics is very systematic. Okay, you know the steps. Once you know the steps, okay, you can just apply it and you'll be able to solve the question. Right, so we also cover topics that are integral to the upcoming assessments. Okay, so some of you, your mid-years or your WA2 is coming up. Right, so that's to prepare you also, okay, for your upcoming assessments. For primary 6 this year, okay, for primary 6 this year, your PSLE is coming up, so we also want to prepare you for that. And for primary 5 this year, the primary 6, the PSLE will be relevant to you next year. Okay, so what's the lesson outline? Right, we have 2 strategies. Later on, we'll go through which strategies we're doing today. So what are the ground rules? As usual, your audio will be muted, so you can communicate through the chat. Right, so if you have any questions, you can type it into the chat. You can also answer questions that I post to you into the chat. Okay, and don't spam the chat, be considerate. Listen attentively, write down the solutions, and also have fun. Okay? Right, so let's go to the worksheet here. Today we're doing ratio. Can I have you to type into the chat? Have you learned ratio in school yet? Okay, you can type into the chat, yes or no. Okay, if your school has covered ratio. Okay, so about 99% of you have learned ratio. Okay, just started. All right. Some of you halfway, some of you just started. Okay, so yeah, today we'll be doing equivalent ratio. It's not very challenging, so even if you have not learned, you should be able to follow. Okay. Right, so what are the steps to doing equivalent ratio? Okay, these are just some steps you can follow. First, you write down the different sets of ratio, which means according to the question, you write it down on your worksheet, right? What is the ratio? Okay, and you make the repeated identity equivalent. Equivalent just means make it equal. How to make it equal? Use your common multiple. Okay, common multiple. Step 3, find one unit. And step 4, you can solve for the answer. All right, so there's this box here, what I've learned. So if you have anything that you feel you learn something new here, okay, you can just write it down into this box. So you can revise it in the future. Yes, you need your calculator, Jenna, because it's problem sums. Okay, Okay, so if you don't have your calculator, go and grab your calculator. Okay, I'm going to start on question 1 already. Okay, so step 1, you will need to write down the different sets of ratio first. Okay, let's read the question. At an event, the ratio of the number of adults to the number of children was 7 to 5. Okay, 7 to 5. So when you write it down, it will be adults to children. Okay, 7 to 5. Remember, ratio, you must write it down according to the order that they give you. If it's adults first, you must put 7 under the adults. Okay, and the second number here should be the second item here, which is children. So if you put 5 is to 7, okay, that's wrong already. You must always go according to the order that they give you. All right. Now, the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls is 3 is to 5. So this is the other set of ratio. Let's put it at the side here. Boys to girls. This is 3 is to 5. Okay. Right, so don't put girls to boys 3 to 5. Okay, that would be wrong already. They say boys to girls. So it has to be boys to girls 3 to 5. Okay. Okay, so step 1 done. Already written down the ratio. So now, what's the repeated identity here? You have adults, children, boys, girls. Is there any repeated identity here? Okay, can you type into the chat? What do you think is the repeated identity? Or if don't have, you type no. If have, then you type it out. Okay, some of you say no. Some of you say children. Some say girls. Okay, so varying answers. Right, so you see this is adults. This is children. See, all are different. However, can you see the children is made up of boys plus girls? Yeah, children is boys plus girls, right? So that is your repeated identity. Okay, so to make things easier for ourselves, we add up the boys and girls, so we will have the same identity here. So 5 plus 3, this will be 8. Okay, now if your children, okay, is 5 and 8, is not equivalent, right? You have to make the repeated identity the same. It has to be equal. All right, so let's make the children the same using our common multiple of 5 and 8. Common multiple 5 and 8. What would that be? Can you type into the chat? First common multiple. Okay, we use the first one because it will be smaller. Okay, yep, Wesley, Ashwan, Celine, okay, Winnie, correct. Okay, 40, yeah. Okay, a lot of 40s, yep, Emily. So 40. All right, so let's make it the same. Over here, times 8. Okay, and then on this side, times 5. Which will get you 40. Okay, ratio, remember, if you multiply to one item, the entire set of ratio, you will need to multiply throughout. Okay, they're all friends. If you multiply 5 here, the other 2 also must follow. Okay, so this is 25. 3 times 5, 15. 40. 7 times 8, 56. Yes. Okay, so this is the correct ratio, equivalent ratio that you can use. Okay, so how to use? Ratio, you can think of it as units, right? If there were 50 girls, okay, 50 girls. How many units for girls do you have? Okay, so let's look at this. Is the units for girls 5 or 25? Which one should you look at? Okay, 5 units or 25 units for 50 girls? Okay, good. I see a lot of you typing 25. Correct. You should be using the one that is equivalent. This one. Okay, so if girls is 25 units, okay, what's your 1 unit? 50 divided by 25, yes, which is 2, correct. 1 unit is 2. So if you want adults, okay, adults, how many units? 7 or 56? You can type in the chat. Yes, definitely 56, right? Because Mr. Huan, I boxed up, right? You should be looking at the equivalent ratio. So 56 units. So you got 1 unit already, which is 2. So 56 times 2. Your final answer would be? Yes, correct. 112. Okay, so you just need to make the repeated identity the same. Okay, then make use of the value that is given in the question to help you find 1 unit. Okay. Okay, don't worry if you're still a bit confused. We do question 2, then it'll be a lot clearer for you. Okay, we're going to move on to question 2. Yes, Avril. So it's like units. Okay, we try question 2. Okay, if you still need it, I'll put it at the side here. Okay, question 2. So in a school hall, the ratio of number of teachers to students is 2:5. T for teachers to students, that is 2:5. Okay, remember your ratio can represent units. So what this means can be 2 units for teachers, 5 units for students. It can also mean the simplified version of the actual number of teachers and students. So the other set of ratio is boys to girls, 1:5. 1:5. Okay, what is your repeated identity here? You can type in the chat. You can refer back to question 1 if you're not sure. Okay, good. Yep, I see. Answer saying students. Some of you say boys and girls. Okay, both is correct because your students is boys and girls. If you add up the boys and girls, that will be the total students. Okay, so that's just a little bit of a tricky part over there. Other than that, okay, once you found out that the students, okay, is the boys and girls, okay, then we can make the equivalent ratio already. So this 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay, boys plus girls. Now your students must have the same units. Okay, cannot be different because it's both students. So common multiple of 5 and 6. Okay, what should you change it to? Okay, you can type in the chat. Okay, good. Yep. 30, yeah. We change it to 30. So how to reach to 30? 6 we times 5. Alright, and then for 5 we times 6. But because it's ratio, okay, the entire group here also must times 5. Same here. Okay, also times 6. So this will be 2 times 6, 12. 5 times 5, 25. 1 times 5, 5. So this is the new set of ratio that is the correct ratio you can use, because the students are the same. Okay, now we read the question. If there were 20 boys, find the number of teachers in the school hall. So the boys, 5 units. Okay, you must look at the correct ratio here. So this will be 5 units equals to 20. Okay, then we look for 1 unit. 20 divided by 5. Yes, 4. If you want teachers, how many units would that be? 2 or 12? You have 2 numbers here, right? Yeah, correct. Okay, definitely 12. It has to be the equivalent ratio, the one that you already change it to students the same here. Okay, so it's 12. So 12 units will be 4 times 12. Your final answer would be, you can just type in your calculator if you're not sure. Yes. Okay, Rachel, Celine, okay, April, yeah, 48. So that's your answer, 48 teachers. Okay, so step by step, write down the ratio first, make the repeated identity the same. Okay, then find 1 unit and look for what they want, step by step. Any questions before we go on to the next question? Okay, don't have, then we go to the next question, question 3. Oh, got question. Why is 5 units 20? Because in the question tell you that there are 20 boys. And in the ratio, the boys, you have 5 units here. Okay, so this 5 must represent the 20 boys here. You must use this ratio. 5 and 20. Then you can look for 1 unit, then look for the teachers, which is 12 here. Okay, can? You just need to make the connection between the value given in the question and the units in the ratio. Okay? Yeah. We go question 3. Okay, question 3. For every person wearing blue at a party, there were 5 people wearing red. Okay, so the question's a little bit phrased a little bit different, because they don't tell you that the ratio is blah blah blah, right? They just tell you for every person. Alright, so for every person means 1. Okay, every 1 person wearing blue, there will be 5 people wearing red. So how do you write the ratio in this case? Okay, this is blue to red. Okay, what do you think the ratio is? Can you type into the chat for blue to red? Yes, correct. Okay, very good. Everyone got it correct. 1:5. Okay, now the next one, we have 2, for every 2 people wearing blue, there were 3 people wearing yellow. So this would be blue to yellow. What's the ratio for blue to yellow? You can type in the chat for blue to yellow. Ratio, okay, yeah, correct. 2:3. for every 2 people, some of you put 1:3. It's not for every person wearing blue, it's for every 2 people. So it's 2:3. Okay, those of you who put 1, it should be 2. Read the question, here is 2. Now, what is your repeated identity here? I think this one easier, right? Compared to question 1 and 2. What's the repeated identity? Which color? You can put B. Yeah, okay, blue. So blue here is repeated identity. Right, so now what do? Make it the same. Right, so your 1 and 2 here, how do you make it the same? You just need to multiply by 2. Yes, you can make it to 2 here, you times 2. But just remember your 5 also must times 2, correct? So this is 10. Okay, can. Right, so anything to do with the second ratio here? Okay, nothing to do here because the blue is 2 and 2 is correct already, equivalent. So these are the ratios that we're using. Okay, you can also write down the set of ratio, blue to red to yellow, if you want to see all of it together. So it's 2, then the red is 10, and the yellow is 3. Okay, you can also write it like this. It's easier for you to see what are the units for all 3 colors. Right, if you're not able to get the answer from the 2 sets of ratio here, you can write 1 with the 3 colors together. Okay, so if there were 20 people wearing red, 20 people wearing red, how many units would be your 20? Okay, you can use this one since I already wrote down. Okay, we use this one. How many units is your 20 people? Yes, correct. Okay, 10. Okay, those of you who put 10 is correct, because red here is 10, which means 10 units must be the 20 here. So 1 unit, we take our 20 divide by 10 to get 2. Correct, Emma. 1 unit, 2. So now, how many people were there at the party all together? Okay, all together, you must first find out how many units for total. Okay, then you can look for how many people. Okay, people, the hint is blue plus red plus yellow. Okay, so I'm going to start a poll here. Okay, can you select your answers once you're done? Okay, look for how many people were there at the party all together. Looking for the final answer, final answer. All together. Okay, final answer. Asking for final answer. I repeat, final answer. How many people altogether? If you press wrongly, you just type in the chat your actual answer so I know you press wrong. Oh, okay, yeah. Some of you pressed wrongly. Too excited to press the answer. Okay, few more seconds. You have your answer. You quickly select your answer. Okay, I'm gonna end the poll already. Okay, so a lot of you chose 30. Okay, and some of you chose 15, and a few 26 and 24. Okay, now the answer is 30. All right, not 15. That's why I keep repeating. I want the final answer. Okay, 15 is the number of units for the blue, red, and yellow. Okay, the total for blue, red, and yellow is 2 plus 10 plus 3. So you have 15 units in total. Okay, but you cannot stop here because your one unit is 2 people. So if it's 15 units, you must look for people. 2 times 15, which is 30. Okay, so those of you who put 15, that's not correct, right? You have to multiply by 2 to get the 30 here. Okay, so some of you asked, can we do the change the 10 to 20? You can. Okay, that's the other method. Right, so this is method 1. Method 2, okay, from the ratio here, okay, you have 2 is to 10 is to 3. Okay, you must still make it equivalent. But from here, instead of taking the 10 units to be 20, you can try to change 10 to 20. Okay, so from 10 to 20, you times 2. But if you times 2 here, the yellow also must times 2. 3 times 2, 6. And then you have your 2 times 2 for blue, 4. So finally, if you want blue plus red plus yellow, okay, these are the actual number of people. So 4 plus 20 plus 6, you can also get 30 as your answer. All right, so those of you who are asking, you can use this method, you can also do this method. Some questions is better to do method 1, some questions is better to do method 2. Just depends on what you see first, okay, and what you prefer to do. Both are fine. You can also get 30 as your final answer. Okay, so just to check, can you type into the chat which method you prefer? Method 1, using units, or method 2, you times to make it the same. Okay, there's no right, no wrong. Because both method works. Okay, yeah, a lot of you chose method 1. Alright, so if you prefer that, you can go ahead and do method 1. Then method 2, you can also do it. Okay, it's up to you which method you prefer. You also get 30. Okay, right, let's go to question 4. Okay, question 4. Okay, we read the question first. Okay, Crystal, Diana, and Eleanor made some bookmarks. Crystal and Diana made some bookmarks in the ratio 7:11. Okay, so let's write down the ratio first. Crystal, Diana. 7:11. Now for every bookmark made by Crystal, okay, for every bookmark, This means for every one that she makes, just like in question 3. Okay, when they say for every person wearing blue, okay, that means for every one person wearing blue. This is for every bookmark Crystal makes, that's 1. And Diana and Eleanor will make 2. Okay, so how to write this ratio? It will be Crystal is to Diana and Eleanor. So together we can put D plus E. So what is the ratio here? For Crystal is to Diana plus Eleanor. Okay, can you type into the chat? What is this ratio here? Okay, yep. You see Rachel, Emily, Valerie. Okay, good, correct. Okay, some of you put opposite. Right. Crystal is 1. Diana and Eleanor will make 2. So it's 1 is to 2. For those of you who put 2 is to 1, it's the other way around. So you will have to put D plus E first is to C. Okay, but if I'm asking for Crystal is to Diana and Eleanor, it should be 1 is to 2. Okay, so make sure you follow the order that the question gives you. So now, Eleanor made 64 less bookmarks than Crystal. 64 less. Crystal, okay, do we know the number of units she has? Okay, let's check our ratio. 7 here, 1 here. Then how? What should we do here? Can we use Crystal to be 1 unit or 7 units? What can we do here? 7. Okay, so you have to make the repeated identity equivalent. Right, the Crystal here is 7, but Crystal here is 1. Cannot be, right? It's the same person. So you must make it the same. So let's times 7 here to make it the same. Okay, so 1 times 7, 7. 2 times 7, 14. Okay. Now, Crystal, we know 7 units. But how about Eleanor? Can you find out how many units Eleanor represents? Okay, Eleanor is here. But the 14 is Diana and Eleanor. Then how? How do you know Eleanor's units? Okay, yes, I see some of you writing in the chat already. 14 is Diana and Eleanor. And we know Diana is 11 units. So to find Eleanor, we just need to take 14 minus away Diana, correct? Okay, so Eleanor, let's write it down. 14 units minus Diana, it will be 3 units, correct? But this 64, they didn't tell you that Eleanor made 64. She made 64 less than Crystal, which means they're looking for the difference, okay, between Eleanor and Crystal, which means C minus E. Okay, so we know that Crystal is 7 units and Eleanor is 3 units. So the difference would be 4 units. So now your 4 units will be equals to the 64 here, the difference. Okay, so for those of you who tell me that 4 units is equals to your 64, okay, that is correct. Alright, so that's the difference. So 4 units is 64. Okay, we can look for 1 unit. 64 divided by 4, which will be, okay, you can just type into your calculator. 16. Okay, thank you. So now, how many bookmarks did Crystal make? Your final answer, look for Crystal here, 7 units. Okay, don't look at the wrong one, not 1 here. It should be the correct ratio. Okay, 7 and 7 must be the same. So 7 units, 16 times 7. What's your final answer? Okay, you can calculate, type into the chat. Okay, thank you. 112. So that's your final answer. Okay. Someone asked why 4 units. Do you mean why is it 4 units? As in how I got it is 7 minus 3. Because Crystal is 7, Eleanor is 3. So the 64 less is because Eleanor made 4 units less. 7 minus 3, 4. So that's why the 4 units is your 64, the difference. Okay, this is also difference. So you can make the connection here. Okay, this is the important part. Once you make the connection, you can look for 1 unit, then things get easy already. Okay? YC is to D plus E. Okay, because you read the question here. For every 1 bookmark made by Crystal, Diana and Eleanor will make 2. N. Right, so is Crystal is to Diana and Eleanor, 1 is to 2. Okay, then from here, then you make the repeated identity the same. Okay? Yeah, so D plus E is just Diana and Eleanor together. That's the units, okay, for both of them. Anna? All right, so let's go to the next question. Any other questions for question 4? So that means every time Crystal makes 1, Diana and Eleanor will make 2. Every time she make 1, 2 of them will make 2. That's what it means. Okay? All right, go to the next one now. Okay, so now we're at strategy 2, which is trending ratio questions. These type of questions are common. They can come out during your exam. Okay, which has been already coming out during your exams. So let's try some of these questions. Okay, so a group of people went to the zoo. 1/5 of them. Okay, if you see fractions, don't be scared because fractions can change to ratio. Ratio can change to fractions. Okay, 1/5 of them were adults, and 1/4 of them were girls. The rest were boys. Okay, what's the ratio of the number of adults to girls to boys? Okay, so if they want adults to girls to boys, you have to put A is to G is to B. Okay, so 1/5 of them were adults, 1/4 of them were girls. Since the fraction belongs to total, okay, to find the boys, all we have to do is take 1 whole, which is all the people, minus away the adults, minus away the girls, 1/4. Okay, so can you calculate this? What will this get you? What's the fraction for the boys? 1 minus 1/5 minus 1/4. Okay, thank you, Jia En. Yeah, Xin Yu. Shutila, yep. Okay, Wesley, Rachel, correct, Margaret. 11/20. Okay, so the adults, 1/5. The boys is over 20 here. Let's change it to the same here. You can also change here. times 4 times 4, 4 over 20. Okay, as for the girls, 1/4 times 5 times 5. We change to same denominator, 5 over 20. So denominator 20 tells you that all the people will be 20 units. The adults will be 4. The girls will be 5. And the boys will be 11. So what is your ratio for adults to girls to boys? Can you type into the chat? Okay, ratio adults to girls to boys. Okay, yep. Yes. Okay, adults is 4, girls is 5, boys will be 11. Okay, and this should add up to 20. 4 plus 5 plus 11. So if you put 5 is to 4 is to 11, they will mark you wrong. You must put it in the order that they want. Okay, which is the adults first, then girls, then boys. So 4 to 5 to 11. Okay, yeah? So remember, fraction, you can change the ratio. Your ratio also can change to fractions. Because adults is 1/5. So if you change the denominator to 20, okay, we make all same denominator 20. Okay, the 1 times 4 will be 4 out of 20, so adults will be 4. Then girls, 1/4 of them were girls. So change denominator to 20 times 5, you get 5 here. So 5 out of 20 is girls. Then boys will just be the remaining here. 1/2 is everything, just like your fractions. You want to get the rest of the boys. Okay, the rest were boys. So everyone, 1/2, minus adults, minus girls, you can get the remainder, which is the boys. Okay. Okay, question 2. Let's write down the ratio first. Length to breadth, L is to B, is 5 is to 4. Okay, the perimeter of the rectangle is 360 cm. What's the area of the rectangle? Okay, read the question carefully. Highlight any keywords if you need to. This is perimeter, but they're asking you for area. So how? Okay, this type of question, if you are not able to visualize the question, you can always draw it out. Okay, the rectangle. Length, 5 units, 5 units. Okay, both the length here, 5 units. Then the breadth, 4 units, 4 units. So the perimeter is everything on the outside. You add up all the sides of the rectangle. Okay, so drawing the diagram can help you visualize the question better. Okay, if not, it's all words only. Okay, then you see the words, then you feel lightheaded, right? So you draw out the rectangle so you can visualize it better. So your perimeter will be how many units in total? Okay, yep, 5 units plus 5 units plus 4 units plus 4 units. Okay, everything. Yes, 18 units. So this 18 units will be the 360 cm because they tell you the perimeter is 360 cm. So this 18 units will represent 360. So let's find 1 unit. Okay, can you type in your calculator? How do you find 1 unit? How would it be? Yes, 360 divided by 18. which will get you 20, yes, 20 cm. Okay, but they want the area. So what's the formula for area of rectangle? Okay, this one you should know. Area of rectangle, what to find? Yep, correct. Valerie? Yes, correct, Kason. Okay, so you put length times breadth, right? Rectangle. So you need to find out the length, 5 units. Okay, you got 1 unit already. 20 times 5, which will be 100. Okay, and we need the breadth also. Okay, this is the length. Then we find the breadth. 4 times your 20. Yes, 80. Okay, then now you just need to take the length times breadth. 100 times 80. So your final answer, okay, just add the zeros up. Yes, 8,000, correct. 8,000 square centimeters. Can? Okay, 8,000. Okay, if you're still copying, you copy it down. Okay, some of you say can 5 times 4 first or not? Your 5 units times 4 units, okay, is your 20 units. But this is area already, square centimeters. Okay, this is square centimeters. Your 1 unit is 20 cm. So you cannot take 20 times 20 like this to find the 20 units. Okay, those of you are asking, you get 400, which is wrong. Okay, yes. I think 2 of you asked, right? Okay, cannot, because when you times it, the units are different. You times already is cm square, but your units is not in cm square, it's cm. So it doesn't match. So you cannot do this method. Okay, so this should be, it's better if you go and find the length and the breadth, then you just times together to get the area. Okay, try not to times the units together. Okay, always find individually, then look for what they want. Okay, finish up. We go to the last question. Okay, question 3. Okay, the table shows the prices of different types of files sold in the shop. Okay, so we have clear files, box files, and ring files. Okay, we now bought some clear files, box files, and ring files from the shop in the ratio 1:3:2. Okay, let's write the ratio down first. So we can put C for clear, B for box, and R for ring. So let's put the ratio below 1:3:2. Okay, so she spent a total of $81.90. How many files did Rina buy altogether? Now they give you the total, and you know that each of the files costs this much. Okay, ratio can mean the reduced version, okay, of the actual number of files. Right, so this tells us that in one group, okay, or one set, okay, we will have one clear, one box, and three box and two ring. Okay, according to the ratio. Every time you have one clear file, you have three box file, and you will have two ring files. But let's look at your total here. Okay, your total is in money, right? So let's look for the value of one group. How much does it cost for one group? So the clear is $1.20, and you have three of the box files. So that will be $2.30 times 3. Okay, and you have how many ring files? 2. So we add the 2 ring files. Let me push this here. $1.80 times 2. Yes, you can call it one set, okay, or one group, same thing. So can you add this up? Right, what do you get for one group? How much is it? You can add individually first, then add all three together. Okay, if you're afraid you'll type wrongly in your calculator. Okay, you can type one by one. Okay, yes, $11.70. Okay, if you didn't get this, can you go and type in again? Okay, most likely you type wrongly. Right, try again. So $11.70. There are many $11.70 inside the total here, because every time you have one clear, you have three box and two ring. So you have many of the $11.70 that will add up to $81.90. So how to find the number of groups inside this? Number of groups. Okay, how many $11.70 do you have inside the $81.90? Okay, that's correct. Yep, those of you who say divide, that's correct. Okay, so you take the total, divide by one group, $11.70, to find out the number of groups you have. Okay, how many did she have inside the $81.90? So that will get you 7. Okay, 7 groups. So how many files did Rina buy altogether? Okay, is it just 7? Okay, the clear, box, and ring in one group, you have how many files? 3 plus 1, 4. 4 plus 2, 6. Okay, 6 files in total. So we found out that she has 7 groups of these 6 files inside her total. So your final answer, find 7 groups. 6, yes, times 7, which will be 42. Okay, those of you who got 42, that's correct. Okay, 42 files. Okay, now, so this ratio question, they integrate it with your number of groups, number of sets question. Okay, any other questions? Okay. Right, so if you still need the copy, later on I can show you. Okay, we do a bit of a recap. So we did equivalent ratio, trending ratio questions. Which do you find the most difficult? You can type in the chat. Is it strategy 1 or trending questions 1, 2, or 3? Which one do you find the most difficult? Okay, some say 1. Trending more difficult. Okay. Yeah, so if you are not sure, then most likely you need more practice for your ratio. I know some of you just started on ratio, right? Okay, so after your school covers the topic, then you can go back to this question and try again. Okay, most likely you'll be stronger in this topic already. Okay, then you'll be able to do it. Yep. Okay, great. Some of you say, oh, okay. Okay, so good. If you are good at it, then just remember you still need to revise. Okay, so be consistent with your work. Okay, so you do have upcoming assessments. So all the best to those of you who are doing your exams very soon. Okay, I hope this revision helped you. Okay, if your ratio is being tested in your next assessment. Yeah. Okay, so we do have upcoming programs, but the details will be out in the next lesson. Okay, next Wednesday. Right. So you can look forward to that. Okay. We have another program afterwards. Okay, so thank you for joining us today. As usual, if you want to screenshot this, you can. Okay, you can email us or WhatsApp us if you have any questions. You can also visit our website here